vagabonds. You're probably wondering why we haven't done a build video in a while. And the reason is because it's really wet and snowy and gross outside. Winter's trying to make a comeback. There's been back-to-back snowstorms. And we really can't get a lot done. There's a lot to do, but unfortunately it is that time of year. So we've entered into the snowiest part of the season and it's kind of halted our progress. So hopefully you guys will stay with us until we get started again.
Yeah, building a skoolie in the snow. How do you do that? You don't. You shovel. So while we're in the snowy season, we're kind of doing everything that we can to keep the bus clean and tidy so that when we do get back to the grind, we don't have much in the way of dirt or debris or unorganization, so we can easily assume progress.
Meantime, we thought we'd fill you in on our cost.
So while we're organizing everything, we're just going to run down some of the things that we spent money on and give you a better idea of what it costs to get to this point.
Remember, if you like these videos and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Click on the bell and you'll be notified anytime we upload new videos. Thanks for watching. So basically the cost of buying the bus, well, the bus was $2,900. Finding the bus didn't cost anything. Going to get the bus didn't cost anything. So that's pretty much how much the bus cost was. $2,900.
The next cost that we had during demo was we only needed one tool. I basically had all the tools. I did minor construction in the past and had a good array of tools that we would need for the demo and most of the build. We only ended up having to buy one tool, and that was the grinder. Along with some extra grinding wheels, that was only 75 bucks. So at this point, we're still under $3,000 into the build, including the bus.
So the next cost was the disposal. We wanted to be generous to the garbage guys. They come and pick up our garbage every week, but we've been putting a lot of extra stuff into the garbage, so we decided to shoot them 40 bucks each. There's 2 of them, so basically $80 for disposal.
So another $80 went to something that we didn't really figure into any cost. We just decided to be a little bit generous towards these guys. They're really good to us. You know, they're there when we need them, and we were definitely giving them a lot of extra heavy material, a lot of extra bulk that they were having to come and grab. So
they were really cool about it.
We thought being generous was the best way to go. So the next cost that we had was about $200, and that went towards restoration and sealing the floors. We ended up having to patch a lot of holes from rust, and then of course buying the materials to do that, which included a new sanding wheel for the grinder, a bunch of tubes of caulk, the rust converter. We ended up using about 6 cans of that, which we used the spray can. In fact, we've seen some people buy the gallon paint and paint it on, but we ended up going for spray paint. It was just more available for us. It was really hard to find the gallon rust converters or rust converters in anything bigger than a spray can. But we found that the spray cans actually worked really good for us because it got into crevices that painting would have been a lot harder to do with like a roller or a brush. We also bought a vapor barrier for afterwards when we converted the floor. We bought asphalt felt paper. That was fairly inexpensive. It was $17 for 100 feet, 48 inches wide. That was a great deal. It was a great way to put down an initial layer after the floors were converted for our insulation to go on, and then our subfloor plywood. Other than that, there were some odds and ends, Flex Seal and other sealing products that we bought, Henry's. We used roofing materials on a lot of it just because it's made for temperature changes, it's super durable and also flexible. We didn't want to go with the conventional rubber sealer, which tends to peel off after a while, especially after going through temperature changes. So we're finding out months later after using that Henry sealer that it actually was probably the best choice. It sticks really well, it's been really durable thus far, and we've had no real problems with it whatsoever. So aces on
Our
that.
next cost is subfloor and construction materials, including delivery, was $700.
Yeah, it
that
ran
was
us about $700.
That was our biggest cost apart from buying the bus.
Well, we had to get delivery because we both have sports cars, and our Jeep is currently basically blocked in by the bus, so we took it off the road, and we don't have that as our vehicle for this type of thing. So we afforded the delivery charge from Home Depot. Wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an added extra, I think it was like $65.
Yeah.
So
the construction material consisted of 10 sheets of the 1-inch insulation, which costs about $18 each. And then 10 sheets of 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood, which costs about $34 each. So together that's close to $500.
yeah, together that was about $500 for those two materials. The insulation ran about $180, and then the plywood ran about $340, $350, somewhere around there.
So we also got 12 2x4s and screws, $40 for the screws and $4 for the 2x4s. So that's basically $50, $48 or so.
Yeah, it was like $100 for the screws and the 2x4s, and then we got a whole bunch of different sizes and amounts when it came to the screws. Some 2.5 inches long, some 2 inches long, basically for the variety of construction that we were having to do with this material and where it was being placed.
And then all of that being delivered ran us $70. So that delivery charge wasn't that big of a deal.
It was a convenience more than anything. So
Yeah,
we
really.
didn't have to go anywhere. They dropped it right in our driveway. We disassembled the packaging and then just put everything where it was going to be stored until we were going to need it. So
Yeah.
it worked out. Next cost was the insulation and radiant barrier that we used throughout the bus, mainly on the ceiling. We got double Reflectix insulation at $50 a roll. We bought 4 of those rolls. It basically did the entire ceiling, and then we had enough left over to do odds and ends areas like the wheel well boxes and some other areas in the bus that we could use this particular insulation and radiant barrier. Those 4 rolls were $50 each. That cost us about $200. That was the bulk of our radiant barrier and insulation. Now, I have to add that we did have plenty of the asphalt felt paper left over from putting down the floor vapor barrier, and I was able to use that on the walls as our initial layer of vapor barrier, which works really well. It's a waterproof product, and it's basically our start for the insulation on the walls. And we're going to be adding more insulation to the ceiling and also the walls. We just haven't got to that part. We needed delivery to come, and we can't do that until the ground is not snowy and not wet, and that's kind of halting everything up right now. So along with some great stuff, foam insulation, spray foam insulation, cans of caulk, and also the reflective tape that goes with the insulation, it was about another $100 of odds and ends that we ended up spending along with that next phase. So that basically brings our total up to, I think it's at $4,300, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
Yeah, so basically at this point, including the bus and all the materials, the foundation materials, which is the subfloor, radiant barrier, and vapor barrier that we have throughout the bus, it's all basically costed us $4,300. All of that material has given us a good base so that we can continue to build our next phases of the rough-in of the framing, the electric, and all the plumbing, and then we can move on to the finishing. So we'll keep you posted with any costs that we incur from this point on, but basically that's it. And just thought we'd keep you guys updated and let you know what our bank was running right now as far as our costs were on this. And I guess that's it.
Guess so. And hopefully the next video will be another build video. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Just depends on the weather, really.
Okay.
I gotta go back and shovel. We gotta shovel. More shoveling to do.